to have Muslim parents come to the school and they call the child to the guidance office or call them to the office, and when the Muslim mother or the Muslim dad come into the office to greet their son or daughter, the other kids and the other people in the office have no idea that you're a Muslim. And the only reason they're clued now is because your mom has on kimar. She has on hijab. Or the dad comes in dressed the way I dress every day when I go outside my door, that they look and they call me Osama bin Laden in the school where I work. That's okay. Because at least it's a starting point for them to recognize who I am. So the next point is that we all are da'is whether we accept this role or not. So for an example, in the public schools, you will be identified. If you're not going to a 100% Muslim school, you at some point will be identified with Islam and with Muslims. Your schoolmates, your classmates, at some point will identify you as a Muslim. If you don't take, and this is the same thing in college, if you don't take the role yourself to talk to people about Islam and Allah, then all they have are the pre-packaged images of Islam that they see in the newspaper and magazines and on television and in the internet. This is all they have. And the best opportunity that they will ever have to understand anything about Islam will be you. Because they're seeing you every single day. They have access to you every single day. And so all of us, if we have never been serious, I mean, it's almost like there's an expression amongst the Christians about speaking to the choir or preaching to the choir. And the idea is that the pastor is standing there saying something and the people who are listening to him are already there. They agree with what's being said. So I know these young men here, these young women who are here, already feel this responsibility and duty. But in your school, with the people you play ball with these people, you have an opportunity to help clear up a lot of misconceptions about Islam just by identifying yourself, because they know you're cool, right? They know you're a cool guy. All of y'all cool guys. They know you're cool. So they know that you don't fit a certain image that they already have. And so you have an opportunity to engage them, to bring up points, to talk to them about this religion, to talk to them, not talking about something you don't know anything about, but helping to explain and helping them to understand that Muslims are just, we have the same hurts, we have the same desires in many ways as everyone else in the larger society. So, the second point is that wherever we find ourselves, we must accept our role as a da'i. And to show you I'm not picking on young people, I'll say the same thing about people on jobs. There are many individuals who work in companies, who work in corporations, who work in hospital settings, who work in courthouses, who have been Muslim all of their lives. They've worked on jobs for 20 years, and the people they're working beside did not know that they were Muslim. I did a janazah, the funeral prayers for a brother who had passed a few months ago. And the brother had been Muslim all of his life. His family was born into Muslim households. All of his relatives who were living in the city were Muslim. And we had a almost a graveside, not quite graveside, but in the area of the burial site. We had the janazah prayers there. And because there were so many of his colleagues who were there, I gave just a little small talk about what they were witnessing and this kind of thing. And I was shocked to find out later that most of the people who had worked with this individual in the hospital for over 30 years didn't even know he was a Muslim. So they were trying to figure out, why is Khalid Griggs standing up here rather than Reverend this person? Why is he standing here rather than this minister or that minister? And they had to be told because he was a Muslim. And this is the tradition of Islam. So I'm not just picking on you guys, because many of our adults on jobs every single day do not take advantage. Now let's look at some specific things as to how we can actually engage. Let me shut up for a second. Any questions or comments so far? If anybody violently disagree, I got a door over here and a door over here, and I can get out of here before you can catch me. So you can have violent disagreements, passive disagreements, whatever way you want to do it, I can get out the door before you get to me. But any questions or comments up to this point? We want to make this interactive. If you don't want to hear me just keep talking, you're going to have to say something, or I'm just going to stand here and don't say a word. Yes?
Comment. Sometimes it's hard in the workplace to bring up religion.
Right.
It's kind of like politics, something you don't really discuss with your coworker.
Right.
But at the same time, I think if you go out and you let people know, that like, hey, Friday afternoons I'm out for an hour and a half. I gotta go pray. During Ramadan, you let people know I'm fasting. So and people respect that. They ask questions about it, and that kind of prompts some dialogue. And also, people during Ramadan, if they're eating in front of me, they apologize, or they try to stay away from eating or drinking in front of me because they know I'm fasting. So
Right.
I guess it's more about subtlety than actually, engaging actively.
Yeah, yeah. And when I say that people don't know that they're Muslim, it's not because we should be talking, because on a number of jobs, as you said, they almost tell you this is not the place for this kind of proselytizing as they see it and this kind of thing. But for me to be around people for a week, for a month, for a year, and there's nothing about my behavior that clues them in that there's something different about me. For a long time, on a position I held one time, people thought I was a vegetarian, right? And then one day they saw me eating some meat, but it was something I had brought from home. And it's like, well, I thought you, and I had just gotten there, I thought you were a vegetarian. Well, why would you think I'm a vegetarian? Because I never see you eating meat out of the cafeteria. We don't see you eating meat or going to these places. Have you changed your mind? What's the difference now? And it was an opportunity to explain why I don't eat the meat. There's pork I don't eat fresh roadkill and all these other things. But I don't eat it because I'm really strict about my diet. And these are the reasons why I'm strict, and these are the things I eat, and it has to be prepared like this. So it opened a discussion. If I go on my job, if I go anywhere, if I leave here now and stop somewhere in Durham, and no one knows me at this place, and someone's standing at the counter paying for something, and they're talking real crazy about something, and I jump in the conversation and I'm adding my 2 cents, and I'm talking as much nonsense as they are talking. They're using profanity, I'm using profanity. It's going to be very hard for them when they hear me talking to them about Islam to even want to listen to me. So the point that I make is how we carry ourselves has as much to do with people identifying us as Muslim as much and oftentimes more than what we say.